Hello and welcome to this week's class of Daniel. I am your host, as always, Rabbi David Katz. This is class number 3, and we are in chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. We're doing 3 and 4 today. Are you guys ready? A little bit of ones or twos? Any ones and twos out there? We got a doozy for you. And after class, as always, we will be doing Shira Shirim. And then we're taking a siesta because we're going to be traveling to Texas. And classes will resume when I come back. Again, we're doing the Ger class Wednesday nights, however. And when I come back, as I've been saying, we will have about 7 months of uninterrupted yeshiva study outside of the holidays. 1 or 2. Let's roll. All right. So again, I don't know how exactly to give this class over. There's so many gems I found. So if I'm hopping from topic to topic, I'm actually not a scatterbrain. There's no better way to do it. So let's give a couple of background nuggets that were dug out in the preparation for this class. Are you ready? Number 1. Did Daniel write Sefer Daniel? Did Daniel write Sefer Daniel? The answer is type 2, no, he did not. The Anshe Knesset Hagadola, the men of the great assembly, wrote Daniel. I'm going to check off my notes when I have check marks because I want to get it all in. So why did the Anshe Knesset Hagadola write Sefer Daniel? They wanted to honor Daniel Lafib Shuto. And that honor Lafib Shuto, remember Lafib Shuto is textual reality. Jacques, where do we see Daniel hinted at in textual reality? Where is Daniel hinted at that the rabbi said, therefore we must give him a sefer to honor him because, remember, Daniel is prophetic, not the book. The concept of Daniel is wrapping up all the prophecies and producing a tangible mochin. It is not Jeremiah. How many of you have ever heard of Isaiah? Any of you guys ever hear of the prophet Isaiah? How many of you have ever read chapter 56 in Isaiah? Any of you? Any of you? How many of you have ever read chapter 56 verses 3 through 5, Jacques Kutzi? About the eunuch who keeps Shabbos and clings to my covenant, which is a hint of the Nilva Ger. And they are eunuchs because they are not from the Zerah Yisrael, the holy seed of the third holy house of Israel. And that we can say is a reality-based pshat in Isaiah, that there are Nilva Ger prophesied for the end of days. And remember, Daniel represents Lafib Shuto, kind of the wrapping up and the summary of the prophets, and then put into writing and then continuing onward into the Second Temple and what becomes Judaism. Judaism, the religion waiting for the true Messiah. Lafib Shuto, Jacques, are you aware of Isaiah 56, 4 and 5 of the eunuch who keeps Shabbos, which you would call it the Nilva Ger? Lafib Shuto, that is Daniel. They are saying that Lafib Shuto, Daniel is the eunuch clinging to the covenant, keeping Shabbos. That would make Daniel very Gary, wouldn't it? Type 1. Then you'll say, but Daniel was a Jew because he came from the house of Judah. And then I would recommend you look in the Midrash by the Kenites. And over there by the Kenites, it talks about the Bnei Yehuda, which were the Gerim because they lived in the portion of Yehuda. So there are Bnei Yehuda that are literally Bnei Yehuda, and there are a sect of Gerim over by the Kenites who are called Bnei Yehuda for dwelling amongst the Bnei Yehuda. I didn't bring the source down from my other place of Sfarim, but I've taught from it before. And if you guys want the source, I can send you the source. So therefore, it just gives us a whole new look at Daniel himself, Lefib Shuto, and about how he is the superstar of Isaiah 56, 3 through 5, Jacques, which we know are Ger verses. Even the commentators all say those are Gerim. Now, some will say it's Ger Tzedek, and I will argue it's the Ger Tzedek non-Jew, because the Nilva Ger, just like in Isaiah 14:1, definitely, absolutely is not a convert. The Sapachas Yisrael. All right. So as I said, we're kind of randomly taking some shots here before we get in order. And I will preface the class by saying an Agadata from the Talmud, Sukkah 52b. It says that God regrets creating four things: the Yetzer Hara, Ishmaelites, the exile, and the Chaldeans. And remember, why are we doing Saadia Gaon on Daniel? Because Saadia Gaon, in his commentary, speaks about the last exile of Ishmael. And we know that when Israel got exiled to Babylon is where the Yetzer Hara became really much strengthened. Even though the Yetzer for idolatry went away, the Yetzer Hara in exile is a different animal. And then what does that have to do with the Chaldeans? And that's going to be the subject of which we speak about today. So that we see that Daniel is talking about the four things that God regrets having created. Exile, which obviously goes until Ishmael. Daniel saw the Ishmaelite exile, the Chaldeans, and the Yetzer Hara. All right, now we are ready to more officially start. That was my little introduction. Chapter 1, verses 3 through 4. Vayomer hamelech le'ashpenaz Rav Sarisev lahavi mi b'nei Yisrael umizera hamalucha umin hapart mim Yeladim asher ein behem kol mum v'toivei marei umaskilim bechol chochma v'yoidei das umavine mada ve'asher koyach behem v'la'amod behechel hamelech ulelamdam sefer v'loshen kazdim. These are very, very rich verses. The king told Ashpenaz, the king of his officers, to bring from the children of Israel, from the royal seed, and from the nobles, youths in whom there was no blemish, who were good-looking, skillful in all wisdom, discerning in knowledge, and perceptive in learning, and who have the stamina to stand and serve in the king's palace, and to teach them the script and language of the Chaldeans. Full stop. I really should have gone through verse 5, because it's one thing, but I didn't. But I'll read a couple verses just to give you context. And then after the trip, we'll pick it up with 5. The king provided for these kids a daily portion from the king's food and from his drinking wine to nurture them for 3 years, at the conclusion of which they would stand and serve before the king. Among them were the children of Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief officer gave them names. To Daniel, he gave the name Belteshazzar. To Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael, Meshach. And to Azariah, Abednego. Daniel set the resolve in his heart not to be defiled by the king's food, nor by his drinking wine. So he requested of the chief officer that he not be defiled.